Righty.
I got it.
Just getting our live stream going. Yep. All right, so we are okay. I'm going to mute this. And all right, I think we are good to go. All right, so thank you for joining us. You have Amalia Natalia here with Karmic Kindness and Madeleine Parker.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
We're so happy that you're joining us for this new moon in Capricorn cosmic chat. And so for those of you who aren't familiar with us, Madeleine and I get together every Sunday before each new moon and full moon every month. And we talk about the energy that it's bringing in. We talk about the energy for each sign. We recommend that you know your sun, your moon, and your rising sign, because those are the three biggies of your chart, and the ones that when you listen into those, you're going to have an understanding of the story that's unfolding for you in the 2-week cycle that we're sharing, whether it's the new moon or the full moon. And the new moon energy carries through all the way through the full moon, but the full moon adds a little bit of juice to the story. So today we're talking about the Capricorn new moon. Madeleine and I were conversing before we went live, and it's, you know, we always say it's an interesting one, or it's a doozy, or it's, this is, pay attention to this one.
Sounds like a cliche, yeah.
You know, so of course this one is a big deal. But what I would like to point out of the gate is that this new moon is occurring 2 days after the solstice. And the solstice is this time of pause before the changing of the guard, if you will, of light. So we go from the summer solstice in June, the end of June, where the days become shorter as we march through time. And then the winter solstice, from that point on, the days become longer, leading up to the summer solstice again. And what I find so interesting about this, the winter solstice, is that it is a time of pause. It's a time of reflection. It's a time to maybe reassess or assess, period, what's been coming up for you, what's occurred since June. You know, it's a great check-in time. And because we have a new moon 2 days later, and I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this, Madeleine, because we have a new moon 2 days later, it's almost the sense of double new beginnings and double initiation, because a new moon can be a new beginning. It's also a feeling, I get the feeling of this sort of initiation that's taking place for all of us that's coming up. Capricorn is a cardinal sign, so it's one of the biggies as far as a starting point for us all. And there's some planetary aspects that I know Madeleine's going to be talking about that are huge this moon cycle. We have Mercury, Venus, and Pluto in Capricorn. And I think Mercury and Venus, at least Venus, is conjunct, meaning it's sitting right next to the moon on the new moon, or at least close by. And then we also have a Jupiter square to the moon, which, you know, squares tend to have a bit of a bad rap because they create tension or conflict. But I feel like this one might kind of give us a little bit of a push in a potentially positive way that may be uncomfortable, but it's a good thing. So yeah, and Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn also has a bit of a bad rap. However, you know, this is time for a change of the guard, a change in how we operate, a change in how we are moving through our lives, and how we are navigating those hiccups that might occur. So Madeleine, I would love for you to speak to wherever your heart wants to guide us based on any and all of the things that I just laid the framework for this Capricorn new moon.
I'm so impressed with you, Amalia. You're really getting this now. We've been doing these for a while, and I know you're studying astrology on your own, and I highly recommend everybody study astrology, no matter who you are, no matter what you do. Right now in the world, knowing who you are, which is all in your astrology chart, is about the most auspicious most abundant, higher vibrational thing you can do with yourself, for yourself. You know, it's so important right now to know who you are in these energies. But yeah, you're really, really right on with everything you said. And we really are at these brand new beginnings, but there's a little bit of a added angle on it because we've got Jupiter coming into 0 degrees. Actually, at the time of the, shall I share the screen? Should we go ahead?
Oh yeah,
I did so much introduction about it all. I think we can just jump into sharing the chart.
Yeah, let me give you the power to share.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. Screen of the shot of the moment. So we have Jupiter is technically at 0 degrees Aries. So it's like, so we're really, and as soon as you have Jupiter or any planet hitting 0 degrees Aries, you get a whole new cycle for that planet. It, especially for Jupiter, is very positive in Aries. It's very gung-ho energy. It's very fiery. It is a cardinal energy. You're right. So there's going to be a shift, a big cardinal shift happening. 0 degrees Aries, brand new beginning, out of the box. But it's a brand new beginning because we're going to have Mercury about to station direct. It is in shadow currently. And Mars being in retrograde right now. Uranus is still in retrograde, which is trining Venus at the time of this. We're going to go into more details about some of these trines that are happening. And just to throw in that the moon is in detriment in the sign of Capricorn. So it's not the strongest position for the moon, but Jupiter is in a very strong position in its cardinal. The moon is in a cardinal. So really what we're doing is we're creating a new shift, but we're going back to something that karma and our ego was in the way of happening. So if we go back to May 15th, when Jupiter was went into retrograde, 0 degrees Aries, all the astrologers and even some of the readers I listened to all thought that we were going to have this brand new beginning at something and it was going to sort of come out of the gate and be successful. But then Jupiter went into retrograde and took us all for a little bit of a shock. And it went into the sign of Pisces. And this was where there was an eclipse there in that Scorpio Taurus eclipse. So really everybody had another layer of karma to clear. Jupiter in Pisces. Pisces is very karma clearing energies. And then Jupiter has been in Pisces ever since because it went into retrograde. Now it's coming back into that position again that it was. So in other words, sorry, you weren't quite ready for this to happen. There was maturing more to do. Saturn. Karma really is another word of maturing, growing up, having the right mind for the project, the right maturity, the less. So Jupiter squaring the sun. For me, my experience is the ego gets a rattle whenever there's a square to the sun. But Jupiter squares, like you were right. The Jupiter squares. I've had Jupiter squaring my sun because my sun is 29 degrees Sagittarius. So I've been having Jupiter squaring my sun and my ascendant. My ascendant is 0 degrees Cancer. Wow. So I have very cardinal chart. Yeah. So I've had Jupiter squaring, and really my experience is that it gives you a lot of energy, gives you a lot of motivation. You're on your game, you're focused. Jupiter squares, in my opinion, are not negative. You can have another negative lunation if you have it aspecting your chart and then the moon comes along and gives it an added square. Emotional issue may pop up around it. But on the whole, I think this is a nice new moon. Even though it's a detrimental sign, moon, Capricorn. Now, the moon is going to be squaring Jupiter at that point too. So emotional unresolved issues. We have Mercury going into retrograde, Mars in retrograde, involving partnerships, jobs, karmic issues that got in the way. In other words, your processing, because the barriers to our materialization and things working out in our lives is really around our mind limited and our mind perceptions, because the new moon is a void period where our mind, if you can get into a void state in your mind during a new moon, you become reset. It's a reset. And then you have 0 in your mind space. We have a 1 degree Capricorn. Why is it 1 degree new moon? Because it's already something you did before. It's already an idea you had. It's already something you already initiated. Wherever Aries covers your chart, we'll go through that in all the houses. There's a relationship there. It's squaring. So you had an issue. You had some sort of an emotional issue or karma. Usually emotional issues are based in an unresolved karmic past, unresolved unfair situation that's holding in your psyche that you haven't processed, that now comes back up for reprocessing. And so I'm pretty excited because I did a lot of reads back then in May, and we were expecting certain outcomes. Even my people that read for me, and we're like, whoa, what happened? Everything sort of went the other way a bit. But it was like, now I get Jupiter and Pisces. It is about clearing that karma, because that's how the cycle of astrology works. You start in Aries, brand new beginnings, and then you go through all the 12 houses until you get to the Pisces house, the 12th house, which is where you clear any karma that you collected in that process of this new layer of, because it's a spiral going up. You become more enlightened, more empowered, more a master of materializer, was what we're here to do. And so with the Aries energy is the beginning, and then you come all the way to the 12th house, which is Pisces, which is the resolve, the reckoning. So we had more resolve, we had more reckoning in that period. So now most of us, and I know, boy, do I have feel it, boy, do I have purged. I have gotten rid of things. We were just talking about this earlier. This before this new moon in this week, you want to get rid of any karma. You want to apologize to people, forgive people, become conscious of what your karma is. I became very conscious recently of the karma I have with my mother that I feel so cleared up around. It's amazing. And it's like, you want to just aid that process right now, become conscious of where you're really releasing fear-based choices that prevented you from expanding in your life. It was your thinking, it was your processing. Sun square Jupiter that stopped your progression. And when this new moon occurs, it's at 1 degree Capricorn. We're looking at brand new beginnings with something that was already initiated, that your ego and your processing, your wounded processing, was preventing you from perceiving the right way, which would have enabled it to materialize. If you didn't have that processing, it would have materialized.
So I want to just kind of touch on one part of this for people who might be watching and thinking, okay, I don't know what my karma is. I don't know what I'm here to clear. I don't know what I'm supposed to get rid of. And I think one recommendation I have for folks who are really unsure is, and particularly leading into the holidays, because you're going to be with the people that activate you the most.
Yeah, you probably have, that's the reason you came into this pool of people, was because you have karma with them on some past, if you believe in past lives, but yeah.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, and however, the karma that you're here to clear, that is kind of set up in this fertile ground of clearing now, may not be related to family, but for most people, I think it will lead to family. But it's where in your body do you feel the most energy that is undesirable for you? That is likely a clue that is an area where you may be clearing some karma.
Yeah, and I'd like to add, it's where you feel unempowered as well, where you don't know where your power is. How can I be in my power in this situation? And you know, and you want to reclaim your power in that situation, because that's where you're creating the cycle.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. That's great. So whatever you're going through, so this new moon could be tough on you, because it's Capricorn new moon, which is no nonsense, which is, look, you got baloney here to get rid of, you got to deal with it. Like, I've got stuff I'm just going to throw away. It's like, I've been dealing with this stuff for so many years, and it's just stuff I own, and I just haven't faced the point now where I either give it away or get rid of it. It's like, you got to move forward. We've got this new moon in Aries. There's new beginnings. It's a 12-year cycle. Wherever you have Aries in your chart, that is where, because wherever you have Aries in your chart is a sort of a cyclical activation of a new beginning. So you know, it's for Cancer rising, it's career house. So I feel this incredible. We're going to talk about where you had to let go of karma that really made you more buoyant and more confident. And it has Mars, a lot to do with Mars being in retrograde, by the way, where it is and how it's aspecting your chart, because Mars is going to come in here, and that full moon that we had, oh my gosh, what a doozy. And Mars came in there and went, you got to deal with this now, and you got to clear this karma, and you got to get this out of your life. Like it, and boy, did I see that happen. So yeah, so Mars is a part of this, because Mars is in retrograde going back. And it's in the sign of Gemini, which is about your mind, and Jupiter is all about believing. So it's, where was your mindset creating your experience? And you got to really really look at that. And now we're getting rid of that. We're ending that mindset that created these karmic baggages, and we're basically throwing it in the dumpster.
Now, one thing about
Literally.
yeah, literally, exactly. One thing about the Mars retrograde energy, though, that I have noticed from this full moon particularly, and it's come up a lot within my friend groups and clients, is the sense of frustration and aggression. So it's the mental chatter around whatever is happening in your life that isn't going as you would like it to go. And then feeling this deep frustration, and that leads to aggression or anger of some kind that needs an outlet. And so I just want to bring that up to highlight for people to be aware of that energy, so that when it comes up, you're not carried away by it. Because that can lead to more problems
and
that
stay safe. And because it is threatening and violently. And but here's the thing, if it has to get that bad for you, then you really have to let go of some kind of karma. You're really pulling your life into a negative place by not letting something go. It's kind of like you're holding on to a weight that's pulling you, and Mars is going to come in there and go flap on that, like you knock you off, So it's something that is too hot for you to hold on to, that you got to let it go, kind of a vibe. So it's up to you how resistant you are as to how hard this release of karma is going to be, how much attached you are to it for your salvation. So
and it may not be a karma. Sorry, I just
go
other
ahead.
thing came up, because this is something that happened to me this week, and I'm just realizing that it may not be a karma related to another person. It may be some lesson for you that you need in your life that is karmically tied to a broader picture story. So for me, without going into all the details, it was the message was to be patient, to slow down, and to trust that all is unfolding in divine and perfect time. And, I had two different companies say to me, there's nothing we can do. What I was working on, it's caught in a loop, and we have to wait for the loop to complete. So it was almost like a karmic loop had to complete before I could actually take the next step and resolve the issue I was having.
Interesting.
Yes. And then another situation, I was making a decision, and I just thought, well, I've been told twice to wait 24 hours. I have to wait 24 hours. I'm going to wait 24 hours on this. And the next day, the choice that I made, that option was no longer available. Excuse me.
So that's the universe running the show more.
Exactly. Like pointing me in a different direction that I didn't see the previous day. So
and you don't know why these blocks come up and these things slow down, and you're mad and impatient, and you don't know that the universe has a better picture in mind for you. So be patient. Exactly. Very important. And that is part of karma, because it's impatience is fear-based. It's rushing things. It's exactly interesting.
So interesting.
So, but we've got a lot of really good things going on as well. So we want to focus on that, because what's happening is we have the moon is trining the nodes afterwards. That's happening later in the day. But we do have Mercury sextiling Neptune, Jupiter sextiling Pluto, by the way, and Pluto is America's return. So anybody who's watching this, in my opinion, this is a good time to invest in the stock market. But I'm not a money specialist, so consult your money people. But Pluto is the stock market, rules the stock market and other people's finances, and Jupiter is sextiling this. So brand new beginnings. So we could start seeing some real upswings in the finances in America. This is a nice transit for that. Plus we have Venus trining Uranus, which is like surprising good energies, liberating people. It's sort of a celebration coming out of clearing a karma, sort of celebrating a brand new beginning. So it's like things from the past coming back that were really abundant. It could be love. We'll go through all the houses, but it could be money, love. Venus, it rules Taurus. Uranus is in the sign of Taurus. So we're really looking at abundant flair to everything. And Mercury sextiling Neptune, which is nice. So it's almost like clarity of communication cleared up, and Mercury's going into retrograde. Something from the past cleared up, enabling issues to go to not be such a problem. I'm sure I'll be having a lot of communications with people who I've done reads for, who I thought things were going to happen for earlier that didn't, and we had karma to clear, and it was predicted or not predicted. It's really a forecast. I suppose predictions are, but I forecasted, and my astrologer forecasted the same thing, because we didn't realize there's this karmic thing that has to be cleared up first. So that had to be done. And now we're going to go back and do it. We did the work. Hopefully everyone did the work. You learned your lesson. I'm sure you did, because it would have been hard. It would have been.
Yeah.
And Mars is sextiling Chiron, and Mars is masculine and feminine is Venus. So these are harmonic energies between the masculine and the feminine energies right now, trining the nodes. So it's like the doors are opening. There's going to be Jupiter squaring the sun, is going to close a door that isn't right for you, that's going to block a way that isn't right. And it's going to open up the real way that your mind wasn't able to perceive, but is actually really the higher calling of your concept, of this mission, or of the idea that was universally a broader concept than your mind was capable of. You intuitively knew to begin this and go this way, but you didn't have a full cognitive understanding of it because of your limited mind and your limited belief abilities. And Jupiter cannot materialize anything if you can't believe in it. It just can't happen. So Jupiter is going to help you materialize what you believe in, so you see that you're materialize something you don't want. So this is an important time with these new beginnings to really, especially on winter solstice, because winter solstice technically is the new year. When that new cycle begins, and that is the time you want to manifest, you want to become very clear-minded. That's what Mercury sextiling Neptune almost is. It's almost like the planets are making our minds clear up confusion, fogginess, so that we can go ahead and initiate what we clearly do desire. Venus trining Uranus is like the moon trining the nodes, is what we do intuitively know is the right way to go. Sun square Jupiter, it's out of your head. Don't listen to your head. Listen to your intuitive knowing. It's going to send you the right way. Jupiter sextiling Pluto. There's going to be abundance supporting new beginnings. There's going to be abundant opportunities opening up for people here. I think this is a great new moon, but again, new moons for me are usually really revelatory of where I need to do work, where I'm goofing up, where I'm screwing up. Mm-hmm. Like, mine, it's in Capricorn, so it's like you got to get your ducks in a row. If you're about to start a new relationship, you need to clean up you need to get into a position where you can move, or you need to, something needs to get cleared up so that you can do this new beginning. It may have to happen in a kind of a rush energy, but take it slow. Of course, but
Yeah, of course.
we're being directed here, opening the doors, a new opportunity that we're going to. Venus trining Uranus is sort of like an abundant opportunity suddenly opens up that liberates you, enables you to get either financially more abundant or in relationship harmonious union with a relationship. Venus, romance from the past type of an energy. So
I think now is a
think
good time.
that's it.
Yeah, let's dive in. Let's dive in and see what's shaking with.
Let's go through all the 12 signs, shall we?
Yeah.
I'm going to pop open my little picture here of all the signs. Okay, great. So I guess if we were to start with Aries, so Aries, you have Jupiter 0 degrees right in your first house. So if you are an ascendant Aries, Sun Aries, you want to watch out. You can gain weight during these energies, because in your first house is your body, and Jupiter expands everything that it touches. So wherever we talk about where Jupiter is, things will expand. So for Aries, that's your first house, but we have this new moon in your 10th house of career, which is fantastic, new beginnings. But again, it's going to challenge where you are, because Capricorn is, you have to do it right. You have to set the foundation to the house right. And if it's not built right, you got to redo it. Otherwise the house is never going to work. So new moon in Capricorn is going to see, you got to come back, you got to do it right. We're going to put the bolts in the right spot. We got to go back and make sure. So career that wants to start, new beginning, but you got to set something up. Something has to happen. You have to either commit, sign a contract, it's a risky because 0 degrees Aries is initiation to something never be done before. But again, it was an idea from the past that was never done before, but now you're going to commit it. You take it to another level. Capricorn is an energy of commitment, contracts, and career, opening up this new opportunity. Now it's Jupiter there at 0 degrees. This is a 12-year cycle, new beginning, a new philosophy even around your work, a new belief that in your work, and this is, remember, we've cleared karma. So we're not doing jobs and work that is security based. You now decide that you want to expand the universe through your career, and you want to help the universe expand consciousness. Jupiter is about expanding consciousness in some way. There's millions of ways. So the 10th house would be a career now feeling very gung-ho, very let's go do this. Let's go guys. This is Jupiter in your first house. I've got energy. You're feeling very vital. And then this is a cardinal energy, and you're a cardinal. So you're used to this, brand new beginnings, initiating, maybe not so good at following all the way through, but this is a new beginning that will follow through, because this Capricorn new moon is going to make you sign a contract. Aries, your non-committed Aries are now going to get into a more of a committed situation, but it's going to be right. You wanted it. It's something you wanted, but you weren't able, on some level, you were going to fail before, but now you've learned, because Jupiter's all about your belief system. You realize you had a belief system at the time that would have made you fail. And you have to go back and look at this, because you can't succeed without the belief system that you can succeed. So went back and cleared up your belief system. I have people I read for that were going to get into relationships at that point, and they just never believed. Every time I kept saying, they just didn't believe it. It was weird. It's like, wow, I can see that people just can't believe certain things. And now they're gonna believe in it.
So how does the 4th house play into this? Well, we've got the 10th.
So the 4th house, yep, the 4th house, well, they're going to move because whenever you get a cardinal lunation, you're really looking at all the 4 points shifting. So most likely career cardinal signs are going to have changing of identity, a whole new beginning of your identity, by the way, who you are, how you present yourself out in the world, probably more open-minded and more. This is a very open-minded energy for everybody in general. New beginnings, open, willing to learn, willing to see things, because you're ruled by the planet Mars and it's in retrograde. So this very much something from the past that you karmically were not capable of allowing conceptually into your mind space. And so Gemini being a mental energy, it's like an idea. You're going to go from the past, coming back, you're reignited about it. You want to go, you're committed, you want to take it to the next level, you're all in. Because you realize there's nothing else in life it's just when you feel confident about your survival, what else are we going to do with that? Well, we're going to take it somewhere. So it's like Aries want to take it somewhere bigger, grander, very big, powerful new beginnings for Aries. That's because you guys have Jupiter, in your first house for a good 3 months. So
it's super exciting, because it is like the big ones: career, home, and self.
Yeah.
For Aries.
Oh, look at that Wheel of Fortune. I'm going to pull cards for everybody, just like 1 or 2, but that's fantastic. Aries, Jupiter in your first house, the new moon in your 10th house, career, that makes you very abundant. And this is the fate. Whenever I pull this card on a reading, I know to check their nodes in their personal chart. So you've got the Taurus energy in your 2nd house of finances. So Venus trining Taurus, which rules your 2nd house. You could suddenly become very wealthy in this project. It would be a very big upsurge in your finances. Faded. This is because this was abundance you were sitting on that your ego was blocking you from, and your belief. Good news for Aries.
It is good news for Aries.
Yeah, you might move home. You've got Cancer there, and this is a new moon. So when it's a new moon, there's a good chance it's a cardinal new moon. All your cardinal houses are going to shift. So something is going to shift in your living situation, because it's involving a career shift. A new beginning in your career potentially upgrades your living situation. So you move, you upgrade your living situation.
Or you have a job opportunity that takes you to a new city, which brings you into a new home situation.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah. All right. So what about Taurus? Unless you want to share something more about Aries.
I think that's all we can say to Aries. But you had Jupiter in your 12th house, so you guys did some hard karma clearing, big time. And I do know some Aries who had in this window a project fell through for one of my Aries friends, and they went through hell. They went through this fear-based thing and they got rattled, but now they now know the divine is there. You know, the universe has got your back because you go through these experiences and you discover there was a platform for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Taurus, yeah. Taurus, you guys are ruled by Venus, and we talked about that Venus trining Uranus, which is fantastic. So you've got Uranus in your second house, in your first house, which could really give you a financial windfall that sets you free, that liberates you, that enables you to Sagittarius, your eighth house, because Jupiter rules your eighth house, but whereas Aries, your 12th house, you may get to go into retirement, or because I know some Taurans that are of that age, or you get to go retreat into the country, or you get to take more time off to go introvert. So let's see, we've got Aries in your 12th house. So Pisces, 11th house. I just want to look at your Capricorn, new moon and travel. You might either start teaching, you may quit your job and then you become a consultant, and you start teaching and you start doing coaching courses for people, or you start traveling, you quit your job and new beginnings where you start traveling. But again, this is structural work and career. So we're changing, and it usually involves partnerships. So for you guys, this new moon is in your 9th house. You either start learning, you start teaching, you learn a new course, which then enables, remember, Jupiter is very much involved around this, a new course in, say, astrology or something that enables you to travel and enables you to do courses and teach online, or you start a new business with someone, starting teaching projects, or you start traveling and working and you start becoming a consultant international, or you retire and you start traveling. And Aries, you start exploring the countryside and start exploring your soul and go daydream for a while. So yeah, and your 3rd house is Cancer, and it's the moon rules your 3rd house. So there's a good chance you start maybe thinking about a road trip, or writing or communications or something. But new beginnings around something, or you may decide to start learning another language because it's the 9th house. You start taking a course to learn a language so that you do start traveling. You understand the language of a country where you're now going to start working at. And you start preparing what you need to do for that. But it really is around travel, higher consciousness. You wake up to a new spiritualism, a your form of spiritualism, and you decide you are going to teach from the country, or because Jupiter being in Aries in the 12th house, you start to really go on a very big spiritual quest to understand the higher dimensions, or you start waking up to the multidimensional universe and you want to explore it because the 12th house is the higher dimensions. So I hope that's interestingly enough for Taurans there.
Yeah.
Let me pull a card for Taurus. I hope I get a major arcana. Taurus, justice. It's so funny because I wanted major arcanas. I almost cleaned out the deck just for major arcanas, but so far I'm pulling out major. So the justice card would be the ending and balancing out of a situation around well, what do we have in your 8th house? Sagittarius, Jupiter. It's possible you end financial dependence on a situation. You become liberated to either move or travel, but you're going to end a fear around finances, because the justice card has really come. I always pull the justice card as a resolve, as a result, a balanced result. So it's like now things are going to be more balanced, more harmonious towards your abundant future in a more relaxed, calm way, because you've released some fear, because Taurans have been through a lot of eclipses, so they've really gone through their spin cycle in the laundry around their fears. So
yes,
you're gonna,
yes, we have.
Yeah, you're gonna have courage, because that Jupiter energy and that initiation in Aries is trining Taurus, or sextiling Aries. I have to get the thing out. No. It is Aries. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's sextiling, it's trining Sagittarius planets and sextiling 1, 2, 3 Gemini planets. So anyway, not to confuse the issue, but Taurans have a very good, they've got Mars in retrograde in their 2nd house, don't forget. So they are going back and finishing up maybe tying up a job that they don't want to do anymore, or something tying up around their finances, that they're going back and redoing, relearning, I've got Gemini in my 12th house, and I'm really deep studying in my astrology ever since Mars went into retrograde. I've just been in deep study. So it's like going in and deeply looking at your finances and redoing things, reorganizing, cutting things that are costing you money that you don't want to spend money on, things like that.
Yeah, and I can say as a Taurus moon that all of that is true. And the travel, bringing the travel and the teaching together is actually happening for me in December.
Cool.
Traveling and teaching, and there was money involved around that, and money involved around, it feels like the sense of faith and trust around money, which feels also like an opening once it's cleared. So
okay, good. So this new beginning. So, and by the way, it's a Jupiter house. Jupiter's at 0 degrees, squaring that. So it's like a new idea, a new direction, a new way to go with all of this. And that your mind was not necessarily able to comprehend or get around.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Well, speaking of the mind, what about Gemini?
Gemini, you guys have Mars in your first house. I've been very curious. I've been hanging out with my dad, who's got Mars. He's Gemini, and they're very contemplative, very thinky, retrograde, going back, re-examining their thoughts, re-examining their beliefs. I rattled his belief system a little bit, which is good. It's good to have our belief systems rattled. Why not?
Yes, definitely.
So so we had some deep conversations about history and things. It was interesting. So they're very much in a mental self, because it's in retrograde, so self-analytical, self-assessment energy. And that's good because we've got Aries sextiling you, Jupiter, opening a flow, opening a door for you to see the right way. That's like the clarity is coming in because your Mercury trining that. Because Venus is trining Uranus, but what was Mercury doing? I forget. Mercury is sextiling something. Neptune, I think. So we've got this clarity coming in, clarity about what you do believe. You've got Capricorn over your 8th house. So, I got to get this right. Gemini has Capricorn 8th house. Yeah. So you're really re-examining a belief, a rooted, because Capricorn is about structure. So it's like deep restructuring of philosophies and beliefs around finances. Like I kept telling my dad things were going to happen because he's into the stock market. So I kept telling him, the stocks are going to go up because I saw the moon trining. I said, did it go up? And it happened late at night that night. So I thought it might happen before. I said, did the stocks go up? And he goes, no. I said, okay, it'll be in the morning. And he went to the computer and he came out and he said, they went up. You were right. And I was right. Because the moon was trining Pluto and Jupiter sextiling. So I knew it was going to be better. Right. So he's starting to go like, wow. So it's almost like Gemini are waking up to new financial theories about finances and other people's money and how to invest. They've learned some lessons around investment and other people's money. They may have gotten in debt. They're now going to be able to get out of that debt. They're going to have a new opportunity, but also they're going to understand the karma in their energy field that creates the debt or creates the sort of, shall we say, the enslavement energy to somebody who holds money over your head, something like that. A lot of karma is like let's say you're in debt to a family member, you suddenly feel like you always have to be really nice to them or something. So Gemini are really learning about releasing karma around other people's finances, understanding, or they're going to take out a loan and go in debt and come into a financial relationship commitment, new beginnings. A new beginning, they could get a financial windfall that enables them. They could get an inheritance that enables them to take, you see, because they have Jupiter going into the first house, which is lucky gains. So Gemini could suddenly have, and it's trining the moon there in Capricorn. So it's a possibility that there is some really lucky gains coming through people through the internet. You could suddenly become recognized. Something could put you out into recognition. I do know a Gemini moon who could suddenly get some recognition. She has her gosh, she's Gemini sun. She's ascendant Pisces, and I'm trying to think what she has there at her Aries planet. I think her North Node or something. But anyway, she's going to gain recognition. You know, a new moon, a Jupiter will be in your 11th house, which is really lucky. It's like sudden lucky gains and recognition and accomplishments. And this new moon is trining that house. So some new beginning where you get either, you could suddenly have a financial windfall where you're, because you've got Jupiter sextiling Pluto there, where you suddenly, you sell a property, you suddenly get this money, and then you can, or you get you new group of friends that really trying your career, really trying your work, that support and find. You could get like a publishing contract or something, or funding to design a new home or design, but somehow you get financially supported, a new beginning from the external world, other people's resources, or you could join your resources with a partner. Things like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it feels like with Gemini, there's a restructuring of their belief system, which then allows them to open up to the possibilities and the potential of releasing some karma, maybe opening up financial resources that come into their world. What card was that?
It's so funny. I pulled the Lovers card. Remember I said, I hope I pull major arcanas, and so far I'm just getting major arcanas, and the Lovers is the Gemini card.
Perfect.
It represents
totally in alignment.
So what are they learning? They've got Mars in their first house. They're learning how to harmonize with people better. What do they have in their 7th house? They have Sagittarius. Jupiter rules your 7th house. So you're learning how to become more harmonic with other people, harmonizing situations better, communicating better, understanding yourself better because you've got Mars there, reevaluating your communication styles, harmonizing a situation, because that's where Capricorn is in your 8th house. So that's a new moon revealing deep fears, deep soul type fears, Mars there in retrograde, coming into clarity about what throws you out of balance in your relationships. And then consciously, because Jupiter is making you realize that it's stopping you in some way from progressing somehow. And now you're going to understand that. And now you're going to pull that aside and you're going to allow that progression to happen. And then everybody's more abundant.
Awesome.
So there you go, Gemini. All right. Yeah, Cancer. You guys are ruled by the moon. This is going to be a biggie for you because you've got the stellium of Capricorn in your 7th house of relationships. I have it almost all on my descendant.
Wow.
So new relationships, or most likely relationship from the past coming in, turning into a committed situation, co-missioning, because you're going to have Jupiter in your 10th house at 0 degrees. So it's a project from the past, coming back, relationship from the past. A lot of Cancers are going to go into union with their divine mates, and they're going to go into mission contracted situations. Now it impacts their 4th house because they've got Libra over their 4th house. So all their cardinal houses are going to take a shift. I don't have any planets in Libra, but there's a good chance that we're looking at moving for cardinal signs in general. So Cancer have Jupiter in their 10th house. So it's basically career relationships, a relationship. So doesn't have to be romantic either. It can be a business, because I started a business partnership with somebody where we do our workshops together. And that started last year, this time on the new moon in Capricorn on my 7th house. So, and now we're definitely continuing doing workshops together and stuff, and that's kind of we're redoing that again kind of now. It's kind of interesting. It's definitely happening in my life, but but it also most likely romantic with the Venus trining Uranus. Venus is in your 7th house, Cancer, trining Uranus. The moon, by the way, at 1 degree there, it's going to be an emotional there's potential for triggering for Cancer, emotional, because I do think we have a Chiron aspect, but it's not bad. Chiron is squaring your 7th house, but I think there's a Chiron, Mars is sextiling Chiron, so it's almost like an ease of communication. So relationships coming back from the past with an ease of communication, reconciliation energies. Again, it could be a business partnership where you had a confusion, friendships coming back where there may have been confusions during that whole period of karma clearing, where we really faced with the thinking that we have that makes us take choices that are not in alignment. for us. So, or that are more fear-based. And then we're operating in a lower fear-based vibration in this situation. So for Cancer, let's pull a card for you guys. Oh my God. This is nuts. So
Oh,
there's
wow.
that's the Venus. I know. Isn't that weird? I can call what cards to pull out. It's so weird. And I don't really think I can 100%, but I mean, I did want arcanas and here they are. So
Here they are.
So yeah,
Hello.
so this is this is marriage, contracted situations, cardinals. Represents Taurus, and we've got Venus trining Uranus. So it's surprising communications because we've got Mercury, Venus, the moon, the sun, Pluto. Don't forget Pluto's there, everybody, in the Capricorn energy still.
Yeah.
And Pluto's at the end. So we really cleared up. I hung out with a bunch of Scorpio people last night, these guys, and they all were talking about, because Scorpio have Pluto in their third house mostly. So they were all, without even me talking about astrology, they were all said, I've really learned about communication, boy. Communication, man. I've really learned. It's all about they were all going like, it's key, it's key. I'm going, whoa, this is so wild. Because this is the end of that lesson. They've learned the journey. They've learned the Pluto lesson, and now Pluto was in retrograde, going direct, now leaving, saying, I was just making sure you guys got this. So it sounds
I love
like
that the
people
men
have.
were realizing communication is important.
Yes. And because we were talking about relationship stuff, and I said, yeah, you got to do what you want, and you got to be honest. You got to speak your truth. You got in relationships, right? You don't want to manipulate through communication. And boy, that's what we were talking about. And that's what Scorpio have been learning, was to communicate from a place of truth and letting everybody else be who they need to be in response to that truth, not trying to manipulate the way people act in response to your truth or what you need to say or what you need to communicate.
Yeah. So cool.
So nice for Cancer. Very good career boosts for Cancer for a nice 3 months. And then Aries goes into your 11th house. Woohoo, lucky wins and gains, very positive. So Jupiter is going to be a good year next year because Jupiter's in Aries and is going into Taurus. And then Gemini, which is interesting because Jupiter and Gemini, when I do charts for people, when they have Jupiter and Gemini, these are brilliant ideas. We're going to get really good new ideas about the future. So nice. Gemini's visionary in Jupiter. Very good ideas. Okay.
Awesome.
So,
all right, let's go to Leo.
Leo, yeah. Okay, Leo, have Aries in your 9th house. So good chance of reigniting plans of travel. I know a Leo who's hoping to, but again, 9th house can mean teaching, learning something, or course they didn't start, they then go back and do now, or they teach, or they learn a language and now they're traveling to that place. What else? Cultural, the 9th house. They may decide to reignite learning about astrology, higher concepts, higher wisdom. They then let's pull a card for Leo. This will help me. Aries there in the 9th house. So now let's look at Capricorn in the 6th. So sorry, Leo, we're looking at Leo. So you got Capricorn in your 6th house and Aries in your 9th house, sextiling. Okay. So you're looking at a new job opportunity, something from the past, a work thing from the past that you weren't mentally capable of believing in fully, or you had too much karmic, lower density energy to clear around this desire. And then you have Jupiter sextiling that. You're going to have the confidence. Possibly you didn't know a language and now you know the language. Now you have the confidence to take on this job and work with this company in another country, for example, and that gives you a new upgrade in the job. You can now become the representative of this account or something like that. I'm just making this up, but I'm kind of giving a picture around it. But basically something new beginning in career, work, or health, because 6th house is health, that now we're really committing to these things, by the way, and we're going to have to do the things that we need to do. You have to sign paperwork, do whatever. But you're going to really do something that because the sixth house is hard work, it's frustrating, it's busyness, it's busy, busy, busy. So what's in your third house? You got Libra in your third house. It's possible you move abroad. It's possible you move or you travel again, because a job involving travel for Leo, because it's kind of like these fixed signs all have the same kind of thing. So because it's aspecting, and you've got Uranus squaring your ascendant, your first house. So sudden surprising income, money, upgrade, promotion, and work, that maybe you do travel and you have to go, or you involve other cultures, or you teach, or you go on to workshop a new project that is coaching or something, or you become upgraded to a consultant again, but basically, or you also have a new belief system that opens you up, that shows you an opportunity in your work that is a new beginning that your belief system wouldn't have let you do before. Something
So I can give
like
an example.
that.
I can give an example
Okay.
for this, since I'm kind of in this zone of this one as well,
Yeah.
with the Leo sun.
Yeah.
So I will be traveling to another country and going for a retreat while also teaching at the retreat.
Wow.
So it's got all
Okay.
of the pieces of long distance travel,
Interesting.
teaching, I'll be learning. And then I feel like too, with my health, being in a new place, a new environment, being aware of travel and supporting my health, but also the flip side of that is it giving me a boost. Is that,
that's right.
The breath of fresh air of a new place.
So let's think back to May 15th. What were you wanting to initiate or think about or doing, or an opportunity around that time that didn't work out, because something that happens around that is going to enable it to happen? So either you meet some people there, because let's see what's happening in your 11th house. You have Mars in your 11th house. So it's possible an idea from the past, or people from the past that you met, or you may meet somebody here, that it opens some idea that you have from the past. But think May 15th, that eclipse would have put in a wrench in something that you wanted to instigate around travel or this ninth house or teaching. So if anything comes to mind, but I do get travel. We do see travel. There's that travel card. World.
Yeah, there's definitely
with your lover.
Yeah, sadly he can't go with me, but I think this is one for me to be doing on my own.
Yeah,
but I think it's also good, especially when you think about couples, to really show up in a relationship with somebody else, you've got to be prepared and whole yourself. So this to me feels like, even though we may not be doing it together, I'm up leveling or upgrading or coming into wholeness in a new way to show up with him in a new way.
Well, I don't think it's just that. And I think you're right about that assessment, but I do think with this new moon in your ninth house, there's some sort of new beginning involving your divine mate mission work.
Oh, I see.
These are really powerful. Okay. These are powerful new beginnings. These are cardinal new beginnings. These beginnings are going to put you on a 12-year cycle. This is whatever starts now is going to last a good 12 years. A form of it. Like, in other words, the nodes are trining. The moon is trining the nose later in that day, which is going to sort of tilt you towards your true, to your true fated thing. And it's going to become clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer which way to go here. And these are new beginnings that are very committed, very, very long-term, that will provide a lot of abundance and stability and committed, grounded, foundational, long-term stuff. So something new will come in that was somewhat related to May 15th. I keep pulling the Hermit. I gotta look back. Is the sixth house.
I can't recall off the top of my head.
Which is the sixth house.
Oh, right.
Interesting. So, okay, well,
we'll see. So we'll see how the rest of
we'll see what happens.
The forecast goes, because he's a Capricorn sun. So this is a pretty big one for him.
Yes. I do recall reading his chart and seeing that this eclipse, and now, you know what, this is really interesting because we're bringing up the eclipse, because a lot of people whose readings said some sort of movement in the eclipse, we're out of eclipse cycle, but we're going to see the new beginnings that the eclipses were clearing. And now we're going to start seeing these things happen. So this is great.
It's great. It is
All
great.
right. So
All right,
yeah.
Virgo.
So the 6th house is the Virgo house. Okay. Virgo, Capricorn in your 5th house, new beginning. A lot of Virgos, just to get this out of the way, could get pregnant. So be careful. And then Jupiter is in your Aries 8th house. So you could get into a very serious relationship where you become financially supported by a mate, because Jupiter in the 8th house can often mean finances through another husband supporting you. Most likely you do get into a relationship with Jupiter in your 8th. It's very passionate, sexual, soulmate, soul contacted, soul half, or sexually, or the opposite, shadow, which is purely sexual. But you will learn that that is a karmic pattern you're doing, that you're going to clear, and you're not going to do it anymore. You're going to end that. You're probably going to have already, through that Mars retrograde, would have ended not any kind of karmic relationships that were based in lower density experiences or ideals. And Jupiter in your 8th house, you could now be Jupiter moving into your Virgo, Jupiter moving into your 8th house. You now become married or committed, turns into joint finances, or you have somebody leaving you money, because the 8th house is inheritance, or you could be in debt. Watch out with Jupiter in your 8th house. Sometimes it can radically increase your debt. It will increase a sex life. You could decide to start becoming involved in the occults, because it's the unseen forces. You could want to detectively deep dive into occult's unseen world. It trines your Capricorn, your 5th house, creativity project. You may get involved in a creative project with your mate, then you get outside support, outside funding. A writing project or a creative project, like a child, is basically a creative project. But and the Magician card comes up, interesting, and that really is about these energies. That's a 0. It's the 1 energy of the eclipse, of the new moon, which is a brand new beginning, which you're now in your power. This means, because this is a card that represents, this is ruled by Mercury, and we have a Mercury trining, a Venus trining Uranus, and Mercury trining sextiling Mars. Darn it, what is Mercury sextiling Neptune? So now you're like, you and these energies have been really waking us up to where in our thinking, because there's the infinity, which is positive mind, positive, both the energies and positive frequency, which is, this card is about what you think you materialize. This is about you waking up and realize that you have the power to materialize from your balancing your thought energy, your mind, your Mercury, which is believing in things, and what is your internal dialogue causing your karma. So for Virgo, you guys are clearing that habitual negative in relationships. Okay. Oh, something's going on with my image here. You're clearing that karmic patterns in friendships, letting them go. And something, Capricorn, for Virgo is in your 5th house, creative project. And Saturn is going to go into your 7th house in May, I think. And then, so you could get very committed in a relationship situation. So things look good for relationships for Virgo. Capricorn over your 5th. Jupiter is in your 8th. Very energy of relationships for Virgo. Very much pregnancy, marriage, commitment, new beginnings in relationships, possible relationships from the past. But again, we are looking at the kinds of relationships that you can commit with in a long-term way, that you have creative projects with, or pregnancy, or maybe you have a destiny to have children with this person. They may not be your true love, but you have a karmic destiny to have a child with this person. So that kind of an energy.
Wow. That feels pretty significant.
This is a new moon at 1 degrees Capricorn. We are looking at very committed, long-term structural beginnings that are going to take us to the long haul. It could even be a 30-year cycle. It could even be a really stepping further in, which this would have initiated last year, which then had blocks, karmic blocks. Capricorn is all about things get blocked if there's karmic there that hasn't been done right. And so had to be cleared up, purged, things fixed, and now starting again to make sure. It's like, back up, go forward, back up, go forward. Okay, now we can go forward.
Now it's time.
So now it's time.
All
So
right,
we've learned some lessons.
So what
Okay.
about harmonious relationship, Libra?
Libra. Did I pull a card for Virgo? Did I pull a card for Virgo? Let me see what major arcana comes out for Virgo.
I
Oh,
thought
the
you had
Tower
Magician.
card.
Oh,
you're right. I did.
yeah.
Wow.
Well,
That
now they
card's
also have the
pretty
Tower,
powerful.
so something may come down in order to create.
Yeah. New moons do bring stress and crisis, just to upgrade, just, you know, in case there's stuff that you haven't done in time that needs to be done, and it suddenly turns into a crisis, and that happens. I see it happen. So it happens to me. So
All of us, yeah.
yeah. Okay. Libra. Capricorn over your 4th house. So we're looking at new beginnings in real estate, property, forward motion. Jupiter is in your 7th house of relationship, a new contracted relationship that you then, shall we say, go and get involved in real estate transactions. Something's going, a new beginning in a real estate living situation that you started last May 15th that didn't work out, or karma was needing to be cleared, now goes forward. Libra, this is very much relationship energy with Jupiter in your 7th house, on your descendant. Sagittarius rules your 3rd house, so Jupiter rules your 3rd house. So we are looking at communication coming in around property, family, possibly beginning a new family, a whole new living environment. I mean, brand new beginnings. So this is a busy energy because there's a lot of work in that, moving and environmental shift and changes, family changes. Now we go to Aries in your 7th house, contracting, signing, marriages, committed relationships, projects. Possibly, let's say you get involved in a relationship with a building partner, you're going to build houses with them, and this is a relationship that didn't work before because you have some ego clashes, you get over your differences. Now you can come forward and do these projects together, and things are going to go forward in a really powerful way. This is a very go-go energy. Venus, you're ruled by the planet Venus. Venus is sextiling trining Uranus. So the sun, this is your planet, your ruling planet, your sun surprising, Mercury sextiling Mars. You have Mars rules your 7th house. Suddenly you're able to communicate. You suddenly find yourself able to freely communicate to people about stuff. Everybody's going to find that karma cleared. Now you can speak the truth. You can reveal something that, because there would have been some blockage from May, and now it turned into a separation or a no. Now you're going to go back and talk about it and fix the no, and say, okay, I was this, or I was that, I need to do this better. So Libra are going to be very much willing to, shall we say, harmonize in relationships. Oddly enough, being that Libra are so harmonic, they have Aries over their 7th house. So it usually means they can also oddly be rather selfish. You'd be surprised, like Cancer, people can be very controlling. Capricorn, you can really be the opposite. So Libra can almost over selfish in relationships as a sort of backlash from over penduluming the Libra energy, because they have Aries. Yeah. So they're going to really learn how to harmonize. Mars is sextiling Chiron, so they're going to have a much easier time communicating in their relationships. They're not going to be so triggery. Mercury is sextiling Neptune. They're going to have clarity of what to say. And Venus trining Uranus is going to be sun surprising, moon trining North Node, sextile your sun surprising communications around the deep truth of what was needing to be understood that was misunderstood. That now brings reconciliation and movement forward in our destined union relationships that we're here to change the world in. These are good. This is going to be good stuff. So it's in the right. Now we're going to go the right way for Libra, into the right relationship. Fixing could be a relationship that you're already in that you fixed. You're going to end one that isn't right, and you're going to now really commit to the family situation that is going to last you the long haul.
Yeah, because you've got, like you said, 4th, 10th, and 7th houses activated here, and that's a huge life-changing
Oh,
shift.
look, I got the Hangman. What's interesting is Libra. So you're going to have Jupiter opposing your ascendant all year. So you're going to have a whole new identity. You're going to let go of your ego identity. You're going to let go of who you think you're supposed to be. You're going to be much more open-minded. Mars rules your 7th house. So you're going to be in retrograde. You're going to go back and see what you did wrong in relationships. You're going to do it right now. You're going to correct your ways of communicating in relationships, Libra. You've got all these planets in your 4th house. You're going to reignite a structural, better situation, home, better family, upgrade, all that.
Great. All right,
A crisis may occur though, because you have to let something go. There's something, most likely everybody is letting go. That's the karma house for Libra. So you got to, so you're going to let go some kind of karma around your 4th house. So which is fear-based properties that you held on to that you shouldn't own, that are too much for you to own, things like that.
Okay. So
all right,
I think
moving on.
We got Libra covered.
Sorry. Yeah, I went on in Libra, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, Scorpio, you guys have gone through a lot because you've had the eclipses there, and you've got Uranus opposing your 1st house in your house of relationships. So you've got Capricorn in your 3rd house. So sudden communication, new beginnings in a writing project, new beginnings in business potentially. But again, this is going to be somewhat of an old idea that's coming back that didn't work, that you're now cleared karma in order to purge something so you can take it forward. You have Aries in your 6th house. So brand new beginnings in a work project, work related thing. This is very work related, small business, entrepreneurial Aries idea, but it could be Virgo. It's this mercurial. It could either be in the healing arts or the creative arts or writing, mercurial, because this is all around communication. Aries is in your 6th house, which is a Mercury house. Capricorn is a Mercury house. Aries is a Mercury house. What else are we looking at? Gemini is in the 8th house. Mars there. So we're really looking at clearing communication karma that enables you to go forward more confidently, very strong and confidently in a work project that is brand new beginnings. It's very, very motivating. You're very driven around this. This is exciting and inspiring. Now that you've cleared some kind of karma around communication. This is very mercurial, but it's also could be a health thing. You also take some new, very proactive measures around your health. You were talking about that, which you then commit to, and also it can involve new beginnings around what you're thinking, what you think, and ideas, or inner dialogue, karma with yourself, your own inner communication, which then improves your health, new beginnings in health. You could discover a new business around health modalities. When you go on this retreat, you might discover a new modality that was somewhat something you were interested in before, but you just didn't think you were qualified for. And it could be involving healing people health-wise.
That's actually coming up.
Interesting.
It's really more around rejuvenation than healing health concerns.
Well, Scorpio is death and rebirth. That's exactly what Scorpio is. In fact, usually when we have a Scorpio transit, we think take something and rebuild it, or old antiques, refurbish them. It's about giving something that is dead rebirth.
Life,
so
life,
interesting.
Very interesting.
Let's pull a card for Scorpio. Let's pull a card. Aries is in your 6th house. So it could be a project involving, you had to clear karma around the 5th house stuff, children or creative projects or something. Wheel of Fortune. Wow. Can you believe it? Look at that.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
That is fantastic.
Wow. That's great. So that is the nodes. That's whenever I get that card. So we do have the nodes in your Taurus house, which is your 7th house of relationships. So it is a fated situation, nodes trining that, letting go of your own ego, because you've got the South node so a lot of Scorpio having to let go of their ego control, let go of toxicity that they karmic things that they do that is toxic to themselves, toxic relationships, anything that's not good for them.
Which is I mean, that's a great
And
thing for anyone. Let go
yeah,
of the toxic behaviors.
yeah. And with the North Node in your seventh house of relationship, there is possible trining. Things are trining that. So the Capricorn third house moon is trining your relationship house. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is trining your seventh house of relationship. So a
Yeah,
positive new beginning that trines your relationship house, that brings in a new positive. And don't forget, Venus rules your seventh house and it's being trined by Uranus. So a surprising new business opportunity opens up with your relationship.
very interesting.
Yeah,
Very
that
curious
is
what that would
really
look like.
nice. Look at
Yeah,
these, that you jump all the way. There's the Fool card, new beginnings. This
yeah.
is fate. This is the nodes, and your nodes, the nodes are in your seventh house, and Uranus is there too. So
Surprise, surprise.
your person is going to could suddenly become well known. Something can suddenly change in your relationship. Your person their life could suddenly change.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. And just for everyone's, so they know, I don't think she's referring to just my person, but anyone in Scorpio's person could become
Yeah, because
potentially more well-known.
yep. Or they could, I mean, for better or worse, that also could be a sudden breakup, but the right relationship does come in. And
Yeah.
again, something will change in the life of your relationship. They could suddenly get an upgrade in their work, or their life may change. A crisis could occur. They suddenly are homeless and they need to live somewhere, and they come move and live with you for a while.
Mhm.
But then it's aligned you together. The universe puts you together because you guys were resistant, and now something opens up that you're together all the time. You can work on it. You're together day in, day out. It's like oh wow, it was actually a really good thing that you're here and we're living together. We can really move forward on this much better. You know, it's
Right.
kind of weird how the universe works.
It is so interesting.
It is,
So
yeah.
interesting. Okay, so Sagittarius, and I just want to let everyone know that Madeleine is a Sag sun, and her birthday is on the solstice, which
Yeah.
is super cool. Super, super cool. So we're going to wish you an early happy birthday.
Thank you. Thanks. It's interesting. Yay, Sagittarians. Yeah, because my sun is 29 point something, which means this, I'm literally like 2 hours away from being a Capricorn, or maybe even just half an hour away from being Capricorn. But the sun is going to be right on my sun. This new moon is right on my sun. and it's on my descendant. So I'm going to initiate a new relationship, but it could be a relation. It's most likely a relationship from the past going forward, trining my career house, project going forward from the past, something that was supposed to happen around May 14th, which actually did happen. I launched some things, but there was definitely lack of belief in my own self around some things in what I even do. Like, I'm even afraid to fully believe in some of my card reads for people. I'm like, I don't know. I know it's hard to believe it. When they really believe it, it comes true.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, we really are being asked to believe these. This is what the cards want you to believe in. And so I'm learning that too. So,
and I think that could be said for a number of things. You know, I did an energy healing session with someone recently, and I was sharing with her what was coming up and some of the energy that was there. And in the session, I could feel the resistance within her.
Yes, I know.
And some things came through, and I shared them with her. She's a Gemini also, by the way. So the dual mindedness, and while open, not completely resident. I don't know if I'm not, hang on, let me find my words. While open, not completely buying into or trusting, that's a better word, trusting what it was that I was saying. And so I could feel, you could totally feel that within people. You know, that sense of like, I don't know if I believe that.
I know. And then they'll throw me off. Like, they'll say, there's just no way, because that person lives over there. They would never move here. And I'm like, oh, then I'm looking at the read going, how can the read be so wrong? And then I end up finding out the moving thing ended up not being a problem at all. And he ended up changing his job, and he's like more mobile now. And it's just like weird things like that happen. And I'm like, wow, I really doubted the read. I'm like, wow, something's wrong with the reading. So it's like, I'm even realizing now when I'm doing readings for people, is saying, this is what you potentially can manifest if you believe in it.
Yes, that's great. I think that's a fantastic caveat, because that is the key. If you don't believe that's a potential, and there's not going to happen. There's a big difference between, well, okay, maybe, because I even catch myself putting out this big grand dream and then kind of pulling it back at the same time.
Yep.
So be very aware what you
Mhm.
say, what you think, because you're spell casting, not
That's
to get
absolutely
all
true.
out there.
No, it's true.
But
Our
you are.
vibrational energetic frequency, we literally are
Yeah.
master materializer. We wake up to what we think and what we say. It's like that. That's the ingredient that can make you have the reality that you want.
Yes.
And I did a reading for one woman, and I remember I didn't know what she did for a living. And I said, something that you do for a living, you think you're too old for, but that's not true. You've acquired a lifelong of skills. You've developed a lifelong skills in this area of practice that you're not too old for it. She goes, oh, I'm an actress. And I thought, oh, interesting. And she goes, I thought I was, I'm not beautiful and young or whatever. She's in her late 40s. And I go, well, apparently you still have the potential to do this, and looks like you're going to get a job. And she said, I haven't had a job. And anyway, a week later, she got an acting job. And it was really weird because she could believe it because of the way the cards said, there's something you're due that you think you're too old for. There's no way I knew she was an actress. And so that made her go, whoa, that made her mess with her belief system. And so because it was so real and it was true, she could really believe that the other job was coming in, and it literally happened. So it's like what the tarot are trying to do, and astrology is trying to align you consciously with this higher destiny so you can materialize it. Well, and the cards are showing you the potential that you are here to materialize, and it's in your chart too. Usually it resonates. They come hand in hand. So
yeah. And I think too, it's first of all, I'm kind of stuck on the fact that at her late 40s, she feels like she's too old. But
I know
that's a whole other thing.
California for you.
California, right? But the other thing too is like, yes, I mean, astrology is fantastic because it gives you these like finer points of it. The cards are really great because they too can confirm the finer points and help you with guiding direction and that sort of thing. But I also find using the tools of soul contract and gene keys, and the gene keys are based on astrology. It's a little bit of a different energy and a little bit of a different focus, but it's this really beautiful inner shift that takes place to create the outer materialization of the inner shift. So it's the material and the spiritual coming together, but through a different form than astrology. So it's really, I think that I might bring some of that into the conversation too, because I think it would be a nice complement to the astrology as well.
Yeah, because this is why I love to teach astrology, and I just want to educate as many people as I can. I'm a little obsessive about it, to be honest with you. I've got my North Node in the first house, which means we get really obsessed with our North Node. So anyway, every single living human being on this planet ought to know their chart. I mean, I just believe that so strongly. It's like, that is the secret to your life. I get the sun card for Saggies. Yes. I mean, because from knowing your chart, you can take it anywhere. You can go any of these other things. It's kind of like just that base thing. It's like the alphabet to me.
It is. It's so cool. All right. So let's talk about Sagittarius.
So you guys are getting the sun, which is great because you got your ruling planet, Jupiter, going into this explosive energy. Look, foo, that's the sun card. It's just like, wow. And that's what Jupiter at 0 degrees, it's like coming back in, ready or not, we're going for it. We're doing it. You're just going to have to dump that stuff. That's me. That's me. I got to like get rid of all that stuff. I just got to give it all to the Salvation Army. Just going to go there with my car, and I'm just going to dump it in there. And then I'm going to be like this, freedom, woo, up.
Yeah, riding the horse on out of there.
Yes. So Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. You have all these planets in your second house of financing. That is awesome. That is just like, yay for Sagittarians. You've cleared your karma around finances. Very much the case. I am seeing this with all the Sagittarians in my life. You now have a certain amount of confidence. When the sun squares this Jupiter, it's very confident. It can be, if you got bad ego, it's going to come up. You can be egotistical, and it'll show up, and you kind of make a fool of yourself. So you want to, I get a little obsessive sometimes with astrology, and I talk, and I'm like, whoa, just make sure everybody wants to talk about this. Just like step back and just. So anyway, so it's kind of like that. It's kind of like Sagittarius of cleared financial karma. Boy, do I feel that. Aries, in your fifth house, fabulous. Creative projects now coming through, or pregnancies or finances, but expansion, abundance, creative projects. I know some Sagittarians that are getting very, very in a creative frenzy. That is very higher consciousness. As I'm talking about this, my hair started going all crazy. It's like you lose yourself in something exciting. So the Sun card is breaking out of that ego barrier. Sagittarians have gotten out of ego control around finances. Good job. You've grown up. Everybody's grown up around their Capricorn house. There's a maturity. So there's a new beginning. You've cleared karma around it. You're now ready for a very new auspicious Jupiter supported, Jupiter powering it up, beginnings in your money. And it's going to be creative because Sagittarius karma, Sagittarians are learning that they made financial choices that were based in security, ways to earn money that was really secure, based that they felt was going to work, that was going to sell, and that's how they need to make money. That's very karmic, rather than what is intuitively, creatively your fire pull. And that's what Aries over your first, fourth, fifth houses. You Capricorn, Sagittarians need to learn to use their fire right. To be creative with it, to allow that inspiring force be the driving thing, not the secure based ideas that create financial security, but that fire in you. What is inspire you? What makes you want to get up and go do it? I know what that is for me, and that's astrology. So I get very excited about astrology, but something creative around that's fired up, new beginning. I'm doing these workshops. So Aries is the fifth house, which is like teaching as well. I'm pretty fired up about it. We're going to start a whole new group, and we've got developed, and guess what? For me, because I did a bunch of readings back then, and a lot of them sort of didn't come true timeline, and everyone's like, your timelines didn't come true. I'm like, I know. I'm like, that's weird. Well, now these are all going to come true, and things are going to burst. Now everyone's going to go, you were right. This happens. I get a lot of texts. And so while we're going to see something going forward now that's boosted up, that you egoistically were like, about, that now will go forward. So, and you guys have Sagittarius, have Gemini, Mars in retrograde in your seventh house. So you really are clearing up communication issues. Oh my gosh, is that so part of my karma? No doubt about it. Gemini is thinking, Mercury, you're clearing, your processing, communication, relationships, 100%, exes and karmics, my mother, everybody. It's like, wow, I'm really learning how not to create more karma with communication. Communication is key, as we were talking about. So
that's all really big stuff, because it feels like the connection to the communication and the material abundance are tied in with one another.
It's so bizarre, but it is. It's even in a same transits can have the same, that transit has two potential interpretations, a romantic one or financial one. If you're out of alignment, it can throw you off mentally in your relationships and your finances. It's like the same energy. These are the energies that get blocked. Materialization gets blocked by our out of alignment thoughts.
Yeah, it's so fascinating.
And romance, when I do my card reads, the card read that shows you're out of alignment it's the Queen of Pentacles in out of alignment, which is thinking relationships are abandoning you, but also thinking money is abandoning you. Could be either way.
Oh, right. Yeah. Wow.
So Capricorn.
Right, so Capricorn. Oh, can't wait to hear about this.
I know you guys are having this new moon squaring Jupiter. You guys are waking up to your control issues, your ego really throwing you off the wrong way. How did your ego throw you off the wrong way? Well, I kind of know how mine, I have 3 planets in Capricorn, so I have a lot of Capricorn planets. So Capricorn basically have to learn to let God run the show. They have it more of this problem than anybody. That's because wherever we have Capricorn in our chart is where we have to learn to let God, or whatever you call God, your higher self, your God self, run the show rather than your lower mind, right? The higher mind. So Capricorn are relenting to the higher mind. They're stopping fighting and controlling. Like, this isn't going the way I want it to go, and I'm going to get in a fight about it, and I'm going to get mad at you. But now they're like, you know what? Let's see where this is going then. I'm not going to fight it anymore, because they create karma that way. They're forcing things to go a different way. Jupiter squaring your ascendant is like, sorry, It's going this way. And by the way, they are moving. Capricorns are going to be moving. I know Capricorn, they've got Aries over their 4th house. Capricorn are definitely moving. Absolutely seeing that happening. A brand new beginning, fantastic new start. It's going to be much better for you. New beginnings, leaving an area, ending a karmic. In fact, the Capricorns are going to be ending some very major 30-year karmic cycle. Like a Capricorn I know is leaving an area that they've been stuck in for like over 30 years. They should have moved years ago, but there's some sort of a karmic attachment, which is fear-based. My security is here. So they won't leave, but their abundance is somewhere else. Their creative abundance is in another place, but they won't leave. It's my security is here. So Aries, bold new initiation in their 4th house, taking the initiative to move and make that change, bold courage to do it.
So that could also be redoing a home, upgrading your current home as well.
Yep. Finally taking the Jupiter squaring that, but trining Pluto sextiling Pluto means your finances will enable you to make that too. The finances are blessed for Capricorn. You've got all these planets in your first house on your ascendant, brand new beginnings, almost. You've got Venus there on your ascendant, Mercury there, the moon, brand new beginnings in who you are completely, whole new identity, whole new version of you. And letting go of your karma, ending a whole major karma cycle. Pluto's leaving your 1st house. Boy, do I know some Capricorn that had just the worst time with Pluto there. Oh my gosh, rough. But they've made it through. So now they're like, wow, I made it. I'm alive. I can live. So things are going to be way. And also Saturn is in a much better position. Their ruling planet, leaving Aquarius. So things opening up much easier in Saturn Pisces. Saturn then goes into Aries, but basically Capricorn are on a nice new chapter of cleared, they're purged, they've purged. Look what card comes out for them. Isn't this interesting?
Oh, the star.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? So they get the star card. So it's like brand new, optimistic new starts. This is just awesome. That's through Uranus. Uranus is trining your Capricorn house. You've got the nodes and Uranus trining that house. So Uranus is trining Venus. We're looking at possible relationships, committed new partnerships and relationships.
It's beautiful.
From the past that are good for you.
What about Aquarius?
Aries in your 2nd house. Oh, Aries, where's Aries? Aries is in your 3rd house, and Capricorn for Aquarius is in your 12th house. So this is Aquarians having Capricorn in their 12th house, Pluto leaving that your 1st house, going into the sign of Pisces, which is your 2nd house. And then you've got Jupiter coming into your 3rd house, and that it's like you're healing old soul control issues. I mean, with the 12th house, you can almost take the whole concept of this whole full moon and just put it on the soul and just like karma, fear-based all around your soul. This is deep-rooted stuff. I have my Saturn in Aquarius. So it's kind of like, I'm trying to kind of relate it to that. It's like really, really flowing and letting go and becoming very aware of a divine force in your soul, like letting go and believing in God, like in your own way, like in a really magical way, like almost like. And so now this is a brand new beginning based on that philosophy, which is I'm going to trust that I'm going to take confidence. I'm going to take a big risk, but I'm going to completely trust it because I've cleared this fear. I have no fear now. I'm living, I'm alive. Let's do whatever I want. Let's let my soul soar. It's a soul song, new moon. I'm going to sing my soul song now. I've healed my soul pain. I'm no longer holding my soul's true desire. I know it's going to involve new beginnings, but I'm going to set it up right. We're going to do it right, but it's my soul song life, but we're going to have to set it up right so it's okay. I mean, that's kind of the energy because it's the 12th house. So it's very retrograde. It's very internal. something that you internally know is in alignment, but you're going to have to take a risk and you're going to commit to it, but you're going to, because Jupiter is going to square, you're going to show you that your ego was the problem, not the idea or not the desire that you wanted it. So something that's true for you comes in and you now have the confidence to do it. It's scary because it's theoretical, it's ethereal, but you're going to make it work. You're going to make it ground. You're going to take that initiatory steps that now becomes a long-term plan, but it is your soul's desire.
Well, and this, it feels like is going to change your day-to-day routines, because you're doing something different. You are going to take action from your soul, and maybe communicating with other people in order to align yourself to that. I mean, I have someone in mind I'm thinking about who has been struggling with finding their path and finding their direction and knowing where to go, and having like going one way and then the door gets slammed, and then feeling so dejected, and frustrated, and what's wrong with me? Why am I not here? And
yeah, very good, very good. Yes, knowing who you are, what you want to do, and now taking very committed steps to launch it and do it. It would have been something from behind before, but you had had an ego barrier around it, think you don't have enough money for it, or you're not talented, or you're too old or something. And now you're like, wow, no, this is my calling. I'm supposed to do this. And you're right. It's very good. It is redefining your calling, your mission, what you're here for. And tapping into that and taking it forward and being committed to it and knowing that it fulfills your soul. Knowing what you want to do, that clarity coming in, because we've got those planets there in Capricorn for you. So clarity coming in around Neptune trining or sextiling Mercury there, clarifying thoughts, your soul's wish, and now being able to commit to it because you know it's what you really want.
Exactly. You had to go through all of that to get to that golden nugget. And
again, you're going to have to purge, ending something that's a purging house too, reckoning, getting rid of say goodbye to things that you were doing that were just making you feel secure. Third house, Aries, Jupiter, small business, writing project, communication, ideas, way of talking, way of seeing the world, more adventurous, more bold, more out there, more willing to put yourself out there, because Aquarians are here to learn to be more Leo, which is to be out there in the world and put yourself, not just hide in the crowd and be comfortable, speaking out, communicating, talking forward. Cancer is over your 6th house, so the moon rules your 6th house, so work related in involvements, changing that, because that's a cardinal. Libra is your 9th house, possible shift in beliefs, complete shift in your beliefs.
Okay, big moons. All right, so Pisces to
Pisces, this is fantastic. Pisces, you guys have Capricorn in your 11th house. Pisces, awesome. You guys have been struggling, and karma has been a bitch for you guys. And you've been clearing through I know Pisces, they clear it through friendship groups, through their social media, through trying to control what people think about them, how they appear on social media, trying to kind of like control the friends group, trying to control friends and have them the ones that you want, that make you look good or not look good. It's like all out. It's a mess. I've seen my son go through this. You're just like, I can't, I give up. The ones are going to fall through. You can't control. And the friends groups that are going to stay are the ones, and they're going to be very abundant, because Capricorn new moon is going to, and this is a very, very good house. This is the house of lucky gains. It's Sagittarius. It's Pisces. Jupiter rules your planet. It's lucky stuff coming for Pisces. You've got Aries in your 2nd house of finances. Jupiter is coming into your 2nd house of finances, expanding your financial situation. Fantastic. Gemini is in your 4th house, Mars retrograding. You may end a living situation, end a family situation, or become very, very, very knowledgeable of where you do want to live, where something about family and moving. There's going to be when Mars goes direct, there's going to be a new beginning there for you, where you take action forward. And then Sagittarius rules your 10th house of career. Jupiter rules your career house. So Pisces have got a great thing happening here with Aries, Jupiter entering your 2nd house of financing. Money is going to expand. Your financial situation is going to be way better. I get the star card showing financial, interesting. I get the page of Knight of Cups, star card, and I do get reconciliation with friends from the past or project from the past. Because Sagittarius rules your 10th house of career. So Capricorn is your 11th house. So friendship group from the past, or you met around May, it didn't work out, or something didn't quite go where you thought, because you were attached too much to either impressing another friendship group or holding on to another friendship group, or something around friends now works out, goes forward. This is right. Things go back. Possible traveling. Sagittarius always represents traveling, but new philosophy, new ideas. There might have been a clash of beliefs, now go forward. Or people, the tribe that you do share common beliefs or common interests. Pisces are often musicians, so maybe you meet your band, your true band, that you now become a lot. As Saturn goes into Pisces, you're going to get that whole generation is very musical energy with Neptune in Pisces. So we're going to get a lot of very ethereal, beautiful Neptunian type music coming forward, a new movement in music that's going to be very relevant to our times. It's going to be very 5D, very escapist, almost like magic mushroom music or a higher dimensional music that escapes, that we can escape and create a new harmonic experience in a new dimensional. That's because 5D Pisces is structuring something that's ethereal. So Pisces are going to have Saturn on your first house, which is going to make you work very hard. This is the time where, and this Capricorn transit is sextiling your first house. So things are flowing, opening up for you in a group friendship situation. You could get notoriety. You could suddenly become known. The 11th house is recognition and gains. So you suddenly become recognized, respected by your peers, or a new project you begin with a friendship group brings you recognition. Don't forget, we have Venus in that house trining Uranus. You could have sudden recognition and fame. It could suddenly happen. You suddenly meet a very successful group and you could suddenly win a competition and you meet a new group of people and you become much more abundant. You then win a position in this group or team, and you then are now amongst a new tribe group of people that you gain notoriety, and they want you in this group because you get sort of an upgrade, a career upgrade. You get hired, you meet a whole new group of people. So really great. Now a crisis, let's look. I always forget to talk a little bit about new moons often bring a crisis. It's possible 11th house, you have a big falling out with somebody, but you really are supposed to end this group of people. They're holding you back. It's toxic. It's lower density, fear-based connected. So that is a potential situation. A friendship group falls apart, but that is for your highest good. So let them go if it's not right. Did I pull a card for Pisces? I did pull the star card, but we're going to pull another one. Oh, the world. Look, and I get the King of Pentacles, money, world.
Oh, yeah.
You're clearing your karma around money. It's going to make you very abundant. Pisces and Sagittarians are going to do very well right now. Jupiter in a very strong position, not going retrograde for a while. Hallelujah.
So I want to bring in a little flower power.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Medicine.
I've been seeing your posts about that. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, for everyone. And so today's card for this moon is the Mandavia.
Beautiful.
And this activates acceptance. And the message is fall in love with what is. And it almost is mesmerizing. I feel like it kind of draws you into the center and, pulls you in. It's like a pinwheel too, in a way. And the message is, where in your life recently have you felt a twinge of discomfort at the prospect of losing something? Mandavia dissolves attachment, helps us feel secure in love, inspires us to be profoundly at peace with the way things are. I feel like this is a beautiful, supportive flower for this new moon in Capricorn.
Yeah, I love that. Letting that go, letting that things go so you can flower into the new life. Like if you think of your past, holding your petals down and you let that past go, you can then flower into the new life. That's beautiful.
Girl, it's beautiful flower.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so super fun. Well, I hope that everyone enjoyed this robust, rich new moon in Capricorn.
Yes.
Exploration that we took. There's a lot here. for everyone to really digest. And it's a good thing you've got a few days. So whenever you watch this, there's a few days until the new moon energy officially is upon us. Madeleine and I are going to be recording or doing a live. We're going to work out the details earlier since I will be out of the country and not able to do the live. So we're going to settle on a date and either go live or record, but we will have the full moon forecast for you. So just keep your eyes peeled on social so we'll update you on the details of that. So our schedule will be slightly tweaked. But then we'll get back on track once we jump into the new year. So Madeleine, did you want to share anything before we wrap up?
No, I mean, just if anybody wants their chart looked at or a card reading, I do lots of things. I do psychic channelings and spirit guides and stuff like that. But if you would like a session, my email is, hopefully you guys know how to get a hold of me.
Yeah. Well, and it's
Madeleine Parker. Yeah.
Too.
Yep.
It's in the description too. So
and workshops. Oh yeah, we're starting a whole new group of workshops. Oh yeah, sorry if you don't mind me talking about these.
Please.
These workshops are going to be great because I've got Lindsay, she's the host. She's going to pull up your chart so people can pay every week. You don't have to buy them all a chunk. You can buy a chunk, but you basically come every week and you can have your cards pulled, your charts your transits looked at, and basically you come in for like a half-hour reading. It's a group session. I'm teaching as I'm doing the readings, so you learn, and the cards handle the stories very well in group settings. The cards are smarter than me, and and anyway, so we're going to be doing this, and we're probably starting maybe next week. I don't know, or the week after. So
okay.
Yeah.
That sounds super fun. I think I may be popping into those to check it out and
it would
just
be
chime
great.
in on the fun and amazing.
Yeah.
So please everyone do go check that out. And I think that's a great way to dip your toes into the pool of astrology and to follow the ongoing story without having to necessarily pay for an individual reading, but you're still gaining a lot of knowledge and wisdom that you can carry through your day-to-day life, which is
because
awesome.
I think and the teaching element of it really helps everybody. Everyone's really picking it up very quickly that way. So and then we sort of follow on with everyone's stories, how everyone's coming in the card reads. You can see how they're playing out in people's lives and the astrology, and it's a great way to sort of just stay in alignment, keep your mind in the game, keep your mind positive, keep your actions in alignment, keep knowing what your highest best actions are, all that stuff. So do contact if you are interested in joining.
I love it. I love it. I am still in the works with some of my new products and projects. I have a couple of courses on my website, so please do go to karmickindness.com. And I'm taking a limited number of clients in 2023 to work with me one-to-one. So if anyone is interested in doing some individual work with me, because the group work is amazing. When you work with someone individually, you just launch even faster. So it depends on where you are financially, where you are in your life, just in general, what you're ready to do. But if anyone's interested in that, do reach out. Madeleine and I will see you here sometime in the next couple of weeks for the full moon in
I don't even know what it is. I haven't even checked. What is it? Is it a full moon Sagittarius? Cancer. Oh, yeah.
Full moon in Cancer. So it'll be a good one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back on track again doing the Sunday before the new and full moon in January. So we thank you all for joining us, for being here.
For being here and watching. So grateful.
So grateful. We love having you here. Please do share with anyone, like, subscribe, pop over to Madeleine's channel.
Happy new moon.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Lots
See you
of
soon.
love. Bye.